Am I the a-hole for going no contact with my mum and destroying my brother's perfect family? Long story. I will try to boil it down. I am 46 female and my brother is 35 male. My brother is the golden child, and ever since he was born, my mother was never the same towards me. I have never held that against him, as he didn't choose this role, and I know he feels guilty, even though it's not his fault, and I tell him that. I practically raised my brother from the age of 6 months old to 5 years old when I moved out. I was 11 years old when I started taking care of him, changing diapers, feeding him, bathing him, and putting him to sleep. I used to take him with me to visit and play with my friends. I loved him like he was my own son and still consider him my first child. My mum has periodically been verbally abusive towards me since I was 11 years old, screaming at me, calling me ungrateful, spoiled, and untrustworthy, although I have never done any of that. When she wasn't being abusive, she was either a loving mum or distant and neglectful. This has obviously freaked with my head, as I loved a loving mum, but the other side of her has been hurting me for 35 years. She has only said sorry once, and it was said in a mocking, childish way. Sorry, 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 okay, sorry. My mum is also incredibly manipulative. I have tried to forgive her and given her a second chance over and over. For 35 years, and for 35 years I have suffered the abuse 2 to 3 times a year and a lot more often when I was a teenager. I have suffered through all of this for my brother's sake. I didn't want to leave him behind with only my mum as family. Our dad died when my brother was 14. He was verbally abusive too. After my mum's last attack, I was done. I have a chronic pain condition that is affected by stress, and it's getting worse for every attack. Not to mention my mental health is suffering. I cut contact with my mum in February, and my brother has been trying to get me to forgive my mum and let her back in my life ever since. I can't take the abusive mum anymore, but I am also grieving the loving mum I'm losing too. My brother keeps guilt-tripping me, and I finally lost it. I screamed at him. Do you have any idea what dark places mum makes me go to? That last time she attacked me, I didn't want to be here anymore. I was desperately trying to make him understand. He hung up on me. I wrote him a very long message, explaining everything I have gone through and that he needed to respect my decision and my boundaries. The next Monday, I got a phone call from my doctor. She needed to do a welfare check on me as my mum had called her with concern for my well-being. I wrote to my brother, I ask you to respect my boundaries and you contact my doctor? Wow. His answer, you are sick and need help. I will talk to you when you are better. I am devastated and unbelievably hurt, and I haven't responded. It has now been more than 2 months with no communication. I realize that he is being manipulated by my mum. But I am still incredibly hurt. My brother and I have always been very close, and this is killing me. And this is making me second-guess everything. So, Reddit. Am I the a-hole? Update. First of all, thank you for all the support. It means a lot to me. I didn't think I would get this many responses. First, a little extra information as this is relevant. My brother lives in another country and he visits twice a year, at summer and Christmas. I have hosted Christmas for the last 20 or so years, and he has spent nearly every Christmas with me, something I always look forward to. He sleeps at our mum's house as she has a guest bedroom, but spends hours at my place every day he's here. We celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve in my country. My mum lives 5 minutes away by foot, so very close to my house. Now for the update. I learned that my brother came to town on December 16th from my oldest daughter. I didn't hear anything from him. I was miserable. My boyfriend saw me get more and more sad and depressed as the days went by up to Christmas Eve. The thought of him leaving the country again without me seeing him was ripping my heart apart, and my boyfriend knew that. He is himself a younger brother with an older sister, and he told me that my brother was undoubtedly too scared to reach out to me. Big sisters are scary when they're mad. After a lot of persuasion, he got me to reach out to him. He suggested I messaged him. Want to talk. I couldn't get myself to do that, so I sent him a gif of a woman opening her door, smiling, with a big welcome sign by the door instead, and then I waited. Nothing, no reply. Christmas Eve comes, and I am in no mood to celebrate, but I have to get it together for the kids' sake. I go take a shower, and hear the pling from my phone. It's a message from my brother. This is perfect. Can I come give you a hug? I'm sorry I hurt you. I was afraid I had damaged our relationship forever. I felt like sobbing with relief. I told him, of course you can. He came over after dinner, and we talked. There were tears from both of us, especially from him. It was plain to see that this had taken his toll on him too. He was genuinely sorry, and told me it was our mother who had contacted my doctor, not him. I already knew that. He said he had accepted that my mum and I were better off being apart, and that the relationship couldn't be saved. This was everything I had hoped for. We spent the rest of his trip connecting again, talked and played board games like we always do. This was my Christmas miracle. I got my baby brother back. He flew back home today. Am I the a-hole for not helping my daughter? My daughter, 22, went no contact with me 2 years ago. Before this happened, I was warning her about this guy she's dating who is full of red flags. He love-bombed her and isolated her from her family and friends. She dropped out of college despite my pleas to reconsider. She decided to move in with him, and since then I never heard from her directly, but she would often ask my family member to ask me for money. Last thing I heard about her is that she has 1-year-old twins, and her life is basically falling apart. The love of her life turned out to be a monster, and she's working 2 jobs to keep her family afloat. The friends she abandoned are now done with college and starting new careers in corporate, while she works at a dollar store and Uber. A family member showed me a screenshot of my daughter's FB post, basically calling me an a-hole for not stepping up and helping her. She also ranted about me not supporting her to finish college. Unlike her friends' parents, I don't have much extra money and I am saving for retirement. She dropped out when I begged her not to, plus she also blocked my number. She knows where I live, but she never attempted to drop by. Am I the a-hole for not reaching out and offering help? Update. Thanks everyone for your input. I sent a message to my daughter via a family member on FB and my son, and they both came to my house last night for dinner. I told them it is an open forum where we can air our grievances against each other, and from there we will sort it out. Daughter hates me for not trying hard enough to reach out to her when she moved in with her boyfriend. She also hates that I never tried to accept her boyfriend. My reason is that she decided to drop out and be an adult, and I felt disrespected by hurtful things she said, and by blocking me, I got the message she doesn't want me around. I can never accept her boyfriend. He cheated on her many times and he does not work. I am disgusted. Son hates me for not giving him the extra money I had saved for the rest of my daughter's college. And he also said, if I didn't want to give it to him, I could have given it to her when she got pregnant. My reason is that I paid for his college too. Since my daughter did not finish, whatever extra money I had saved for her tuition, I moved it to my retirement savings. Why would I give it to him when I already paid for him too? He graduated with 0 student loan. Also, why would I give it to her just because she got pregnant? Being an adult means you are responsible for your decisions. Me. I am disappointed that my daughter dropped out, moved in with her boyfriend, got pregnant and is now living a hard life. I told her I worked my butt off to give her a good life and that she was my little princess. I never wanted her to experience hardship in life, but she chose this life, and this is her reality now. I'm disappointed at my son for cutting me off and disrespecting me when I tried to reach out. All in all, we were civil, but they suggested that I get a reverse mortgage so they get their inheritance early and that would help them buy their own house. I said I will think about it. Am I the a-hole for suggesting to my friend next time she can bring her own food? But I was wondering if I was the a-hole here. So I love cooking and love to host. Bearing in mind all of us, including me, are Muslim and we all eat halal meat. One of my friends became vegan last year. When we go out for meals, we try to accommodate her by going to places that facilitate vegan food. That limits most of our choices, as most places that serve halal food don't cater very well to vegan food. So we moved to a new place, and I decided to invite friends over for dinner. I called my vegan friend beforehand and asked her what she would like me to make and what brand she wanted me to use. I assured her I would cook everything separately for her so there would be no cross-contamination. Food was served and she liked it. One of my friends brought for dessert homemade cheesecake that her mum made. I had already brought a vegan dessert for my friend, so I assumed no problem. Well, she had a meltdown and screamed at the person who brought the cheesecake. I asked her to calm down and not raise her voice in my house. She took offense and left, and said I didn't appreciate her choice of food and places to eat out. Later on we decided we couldn't let her selfish antics affect us. In a group chat, we discussed going out in 2 weeks to this new halal buffet opening in town, and we checked it did have vegan products. Well, said friend straight away objected. So I told her when we next go out you can bring your own food and we can enjoy eating out. Am I the a-hole? Update: this is an update to my previous post. I don't know how to add to original. See my profile for original. Quick recap: I hosted dinner at my home, and my friend who is vegan had a meltdown regarding a non-vegan cheesecake my friend's mother made and she brought for us, despite us, for over a year accommodating my vegan friend's diet. So after what happened, I created a new WhatsApp group with all my friends apart from the vegan one to discuss what happened and what to do going forward. We all agreed that we had enabled her behavior by being too accommodating and she was rude. Someone suggested I have a chat with her one-to-one and see if there were issues going on with her, as her outburst is unlike her. She can be self-centered, but never been that rude before. I agreed to the suggestion but told the group I will keep the chats as backup so that we all are on the same page in case she accuses me of bullying her, and she would know it is just not me. I texted her and asked her to meet me at my place. The reason for that is so that number 1, she doesn't have a meltdown in public, and number 2, if she crosses the line, I was going to ask her to leave my home. My husband was on board with this and he said he would wait outside in the car so she doesn't feel uncomfortable. She wears a headscarf and when we get together we usually are girls only, so those of us who wear headscarf can take it off. She agreed to come. We met, and after greeting I asked her up front if there were any issues. She was taken back and asked why. I informed her that what happened last time was unlike her, and if she is having a hard time. She denied it in the beginning, but then burst into tears. That day she had an argument with her fiancé in regards to her future MIL. She is the only vegan in the family and wanted the wedding menu to be all vegan. In our culture, the groom pays for the wedding, and her MIL said while some of the menu can cater to some vegan dishes, there will be non-vegan as well for others. And her MIL said that is not up for discussion as they are paying for the wedding. Her fiancé, while supporting her, agrees with his mum as he stayed with her. She can eat what he wants, but he is non-vegan and will not adhere to her diet at home or when eating out. I asked what happened since she said, relationships are shaky, and she gave him an ultimatum, either her and her views or his mother. He bluntly told her while he loves her, he wants a partner that would accept both him and his family. He said if his mother disrespects her or anyone else in his family, he would berate him and defend her, but in return, she has to also give the same amount of respect back to him and his family. I asked her if her NIL banned vegan food from the menu completely. She said no. She said they will be both. I asked her when she visits her fiancé's family if they provide vegan food for her. She said yes, they do. I told her she was selfish and only thought of herself. I said to her that if they had not accommodated her at all, I would tell her to leave the relationship. I told her we had tried to be respectful of her choices for over a year, but we won't be doing that any longer, that she is entitled and the world doesn't revolve around her. I showed her the group chat where we all agreed that if she continues to be disrespectful that she won't be invited out any longer with us. I told her that she needs to be grateful her fiancé was being patient with her. If my husband had been rude to my mother like that, I would have broken off the relationship. She raised her voice at me and slapped me all of a sudden. I told her to get out of my house before I called the police for assault. She said, "Who would believe you?" Then I told her I had recorded our whole conversation, in case she lied later on. She left, and I messaged the friend group, explained what happened and told them I am done with her, and if they want to hang around with her I am fine with it, just to tell me as I don't want to see her. They were all shocked, and I am now grieving the loss of a friend who I have known since I was 11 years old.